In the early decades of the 20th century, British India was a land of immense diversity. Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Parsis, and Christians lived side by side, often in the same towns, trading goods, sharing customs, and speaking common languages. But beneath this surface of shared culture, tensions quietly simmered, tensions that would one day split the land in two. As calls for independence from British rule grew louder, a deeper, more complex question emerged. What would freedom look like for everyone? Would a united India mean equal rights for all? Or would one community's liberation come at the expense of another's identity? Out of this uncertainty, a powerful idea began to take shape. An idea that would soon change the course of history. On March 23, 1940, in the city of Lahore, the leader of the All India Muslim League, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, stood before thousands and delivered a bold declaration. Muslims, he said, were not merely a religious community. They were a distinct nation. To protect their rights, culture, and future, they would need a homeland of their own. This moment marked the formal beginning of the demand for Pakistan, a separate nation for Muslims. At first, many dissed the proposal as a bargaining tactic, a move meant to gain political leverage. But the idea of Pakistan soon gained traction, evolving from a strategic vision into a sweeping, emotional dream. And with each passing year, that dream only grew stronger. In the years following the Lahore Resolution of March 23, 1940, the political climate in British India grew increasingly polarized. The once united dream of independence fractured along religious lines. While the Indian National Congress campaigned for a united secular India, the All India Muslim League under Muhammad Ali Jinnah pushed to transform the idea of Pakistan into a political reality. Jinnah, once a strong advocate of cooperation with the Congress, grew disillusioned. He became convinced that Muslims would be politically marginalized in a Hindu-majority India. By the mid-1940s, British India was changing rapidly. The Second World War had drained Britain's resources, and as the war ended, the British government declared its intent. India would soon be free. But the question remained, free as one nation or two? In 1946, elections were held across British India. The Muslim League won the majority of Muslim votes, solidifying its position as the principal voice of India's Muslims. Jinnah declared that Muslims could not be safe under a Congress-led government and demanded a separate homeland. The Congress rejected the idea of partition. Negotiations failed. Suspicion replaced trust. On August 16, 1946, the Muslim League called for Direct Action Day to press its demand for Pakistan. What began as a political demonstration in Calcutta quickly spiraled into a communal bloodbath. For several days, mobs from both sides looted, burned, and killed. Over 5,000 people were dead. The streets of the once bustling city ran red. Violence spread. In October 1946, in Noakhali, now in Bangladesh, Muslim mobs attacked Hindu communities, burning homes, kidnapping women, and driving thousands to flee. In retaliation, Hindu mobs in Bihar massacred Muslims. Villager turned against villager, neighbor against neighbor. Gandhi, heartbroken, traveled barefoot through the villages of Noakhali, pleading for peace. But even the Mahatma's voice was being drowned by the roar of hate. On February 20th, 1947, British Prime Minister Clement Attlee announced that Britain would leave India no later than June 1948. But unrest was growing. In March 1947, Lord Mountbatten arrived as the last viceroy. Realizing that further delay could lead to civil war, he advanced the timeline. On June 3, 1947, the British announced the plan for partition. India would be divided into two nations, Hindu-majority India and Muslim-majority Pakistan, with two wings in the east and west. The provinces of Punjab and Bengal, rich in culture but deeply mixed in religion, would be split. No one knew where the new borders would fall. People waited in fear. At midnight on August 14, 1947, Pakistan was born. Crowds in Karachi celebrated. Just hours later, on August 15, India became independent. In Delhi, Jawaharlal Nehru delivered his famous Tryst with Destiny speech.
We stand on the threshold of freedom. I want to assure everyone that India is a country for all. It does not belong to any special community or religion. It belongs to all.
But the new borders, the Radcliffe Line, were not published until August 17, 2 days after independence. By then, violence had already erupted. The announcement triggered the largest mass migration in human history. 15 million people were on the move. Muslims heading to Pakistan, Hindus and Sikhs heading to India. Families traveled by train, bullock cart, or on foot, fueled by hope, haunted by fear. But many never reached their destinations. Refugee trains were ambushed, caravans were massacred, men were slaughtered, women were abducted and raped, bodies floated in rivers, entire villages burned. Between 1 and 2 million people were killed in just a few months. Over 75,000 women were abducted, many never found again. Barely weeks after partition, the next crisis exploded. In October 1947, armed tribesmen from Pakistan invaded the princely state of Kashmir. Its Hindu ruler, in desperation, signed an agreement of accession to India in exchange for military aid. Indian troops flew in. The First India-Pakistan War had begun. What started as a political division had now become a permanent geopolitical conflict, one that continues to this day. By early 1948, the mass migration slowed, borders were sealed, but the psychological wounds remained raw. Delhi, once home to a thriving Muslim population, was now largely Hindu. Karachi, once a cosmopolitan city, became nearly all Muslim. Coexistence had given way to suspicion. A centuries-old shared culture was shattered. Partition was meant to be a solution, a peaceful separation, but it became a human catastrophe. It gave two nations their freedom, but left behind a shared sorrow. Even today, the memories of 1947 live on. In the hearts of survivors, in the silence of divided families, and in cities that remember what was lost. Partition gave flags, but also funerals. It was the birth of a nation and the death of unity.